Hey, we on.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
What's good?
What's good, everybody? This is your boy Handsome Baller 88.
It's your boy ABA to the Lynch.
And how y'all doing today on this gloomy Tuesday afternoon? But it feels good outside. So, what's been going on with you since the last time we spoke?
Same old shit. Different day.
Same here. Just been chilling since the last time we all got together. Just been sitting back, chillaxing. Work, go home, same little thing. That's it.
Hey, ma.
Hey. What was I about to say? Yeah, I've been chilling most of the part. You know how when you busy all the time and you work and you get your days confused. I thought that last weekend was Labor Day weekend, and it really wasn't.
No, it's next week.
It really wasn't.
It falls on the 7th.
We're every 4 years because it's a leap year. That's how you know when it's presidential. Whatever. But it threw me off, and I was just sitting there looking like, man, COVID fucked everything up. It messed everything. I was looking at my pictures and memories of like last year. You know how on Facebook say your memories, and I was looking at my memories and just I was in ATL last year. This time last year we was having fun, and I'm just like, child, this is terrible. This is just terrible.
How was they in how was it in A-Town? Was they sticking to the mask?
No. This was last year when I went.
Oh.
When COVID wasn't even a thing. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, man, this COVID shit is
I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of wearing masks.
I'm sick of wearing masks too. I mean, granted, like I have different character or design masks and stuff like that, but it's just the simple fact is, I didn't have I don't like wearing masks, period. But I had an issue wearing the mask when I didn't have an issue so much when it was still cool outside. But when it was hot and you sweat and stuff like that, I just don't. That's when I have an issue with it. Cause then like your whole mouth and stuff, people think because you have a mask that part is going to be wet. It's going to sweat.
Oh shit!
It's going to sweat because you got the sweat that goes down into it.
And it stay hot in the south. I know. I'm from there.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's just that it's annoying to keep wearing the mask. Sometimes I don't like those white and blue masks that everybody was wearing, them hospital looking ones. I don't like.
They not really. They don't. To me, they really don't work the way. I think they don't work the way they should.
I'm not gonna say that they don't work. I just don't particularly like them because I don't like the way behind your ears it hurts and stuff like that. Like that's why I'll rather pay a little extra to get a nicer mask just so that way I don't have to deal with it. And this is another thing, people. Please wash your mask or rotate them. Don't keep wearing the same mask.
Because I wash mine. I wash mine every once in a while.
You need to rotate your mask. I'm just, y'all need to rotate them.
I mean, it's because there's really no point if it's a durable mask, then there's really no point in buying a whole bunch of masks when you can just wash it.
Well, you can. No, I would say still get different ones just to rotate. Like you want to wear this 1 week, then wash that one, then wear another one.
Fine,
I mean, everybody is different. You feel what I'm saying? Me personally, I rather like having a couple.
I just want to keep wasting money on masks.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying every week go out and keep buying this, that, and third, but like I had bought a couple from a lady that I know that makes masks, and then I had bought a pack that Hanes made some, and I was like, well, and they were pretty good. I had no issues with them. I was wondering, I was like, did they make these from underwear? But, they were like $7, but I forgot how many you get. But they're very durable. But I was wondering, but I seen a video on YouTube where a lady made masks from panties, from women's underwear.
See, I ain't about to put no drawers over my face.
This is my whole thing.
Fuck that.
I don't have an issue doing that as long as they have never been worn. Like if they some fresh out the pack ones and you did them, I have no problem. But I'm not wearing no used ones. I'm sorry.
That's fine,
like
but
no.
I mean that's fine, but it's just me. I wouldn't.
No, I agree with you 100%.
I wouldn't because I mean underwear is meant for your ass, not
your body.
Yeah, it's not.
I got you.
Upstairs.
I mean, I got you, but still, Did he really steal that one? But it's more. It's just. And then again, we have to deal with our favorite. I ain't gonna say favorite, but a topic that we both know too well. Hygiene.
Hygiene.
Well, I. This is what I'm not understand. This is the thing. I can. At this point in time, unless you have a construction job or a job you work outside, you should not stink. There was a guy some days ago, and it was 11 o'clock at night. Okay, and we're getting on the train together or waiting for whatever. He smells so strong, and they wanted to sit right next to me, and
Oh
it irritated
no!
me
Oh
to all
no!
blue hell.
Oh
It was so
no!
strong. It was so strong to the point where it just was like
Oh
it was so strong
no!
where I thought if I was high, it would have blew my high. It really did me dirty, and I just was like, "Sir, why do you smell like this?"
Did you ask him?
Hell no, because he looked like his elevator didn't go to the top floor. But oh, he hijacked you.
No.
But
You going back, bro?
but then there's an but then there's another one who another guy who I saw again. He bought a whole bunch of. He had bags of stuff. You could so he must have had a woman because he had a lot of bags that was this from a woman's store. So he must have. I'm not. I'm assuming it was for his whoever woman he was buying gifts for because he had flowers and some other stuff. And once again, if I have a mask on, so the mask that I wear,
Did he look like he? Did he look like he was coming from work?
homophobic.
No, did he look like he was coming from work?
No, you talking about the
Say
guy
what you
who's
talking about?
no. No. This guy, no. The first guy, I don't know. The second guy, he was coming. He had been shopping, but he must have was buying for a woman because he had like stuff from women's stores and flowers.
Right.
And he, sat in front of me, and he was jamming. And it was a situation where so I'm just like, sir, if I can smell you through my mask,
You stink.
that's a problem. That means that you need to submerge yourself in the tub and you need to scrub it dub dub. But he chose, I don't care what the situation is. The only people who have the right to smell like that are homeless people. If you have running water in your house every day, you shouldn't smell like that. And he did. And it was wrong. It was offensive to my nose, and I didn't like. It wasn't right. And it wasn't okay. And the moral of the story is this:
Wash your motherfucking ass.
make sure you keep it good and washed. And another podcast that I listened to, they were talking about if you had any Uber or Lyft driver experiences that were not so stellar. I thank goodness that I didn't have any Uber or Lyft-ish stories that were bad. The only thing I can only say I've had about mine was, like I said, going back to the hygiene, I had two of them who were not so smelling nice. And one of them kept trying to have a conversation with me. And I'm like, sir, I don't want to talk to you because you're funky and your car is smelling funky. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all can call me Patty, you can call me what you want to call me. I do reports. You know how when you rate your driver, like they can rate you and stuff like that? I rate them, and if they smell terrible, I will report it. I will.
Yeah,
I am that type.
you're really big on that sort of thing.
I will report it. I have no problem with that because of the simple fact being is that I don't care, whether you Uber at night, in the morning, the middle of the day, whatever the situation is. Before you get in your car, just get in your tub and scrubby dub dub, please. That's all I ask. Just if it's offensive to the riders.
No, it's offensive.
It's offensive to the people who are getting in your car because you never know, they could tip you. You know what I mean? So that's why, like I said, just that's a big thing of mine. And I understand that everybody doesn't have the same mindset like I do when it comes to that, but it's just wrong. It's not right. and it's not okay.
And for y'all who don't know, we are going to touch on the topic of zodiacs.
Interesting. Mm.
I got something to say about our 12. Our 12.
I got something to say about all 12 too, but
Shit.
it's hilarious because you know what's so crazy? Y'all were just, I was thinking about you and Dre when y'all were talking about a Pacific horoscope sign one day. And I'm glad that you brought this up because, but let me make a disclaimer before I get into it and say what it is.
Alright.
These are based off of the people that I've dealt with. So I don't want nobody trying to come at me with guns blazing like you MF or you did it. No, I don't want it to be like that. I'm just explaining my interactions with the ones that I dealt with. That's all. Um, so let's get started with the horoscopes.
Do you want to do them in order or do you want to
Oh,
jump
we
around
gonna
the
do them in
board?
order. Cause
That's like you. That's why I was like you want to do them in order.
we definitely gonna do them in
you know,
order.
jump around the board. Like,
So the first horoscope.
hold up. Before we start, seeing that the Capricorn goes into the beginning of the month and then Aquarius pretty much there.
Well, we can start with
to me personally,
we can
it
start.
doesn't make sense that one zodiac carries on into the next year like that because it's kind of uneven.
I get it.
But like, we want to start with Cap. We want to start with Aquarius.
We're gonna start with Capricorn.
Okay. You first.
So with a Capricorn, I haven't. Most of the Capricorns I met are pretty good people. They're real. They cool as shit. I've never really had any issues with them. They've always been good people. Um, I'm trying to think. Is there any flaw? The only
Any flaw?
I mean, no. The reason why I said is because I've never had too many issues with the Capricorn except for one, and the only little issue I have with Capricorn with the Capricorn is not all, but the one or two that I dealt with is that they don't keep it 100 when it comes
They
to certain
will
things.
break your fucking heart in
No,
two.
not even.
Like,
No, well, I can't speak on that aspect, but what I mean,
I show that.
I had a situation with one where they basically tried to make me out to be the bad person because of something that they said in front of everyone, and everyone was talking about the situation at the time, but you tried to come at me sideways because I guess you thought I was an easy target and I wouldn't, you thought I was gonna back down.
You were 5 shots back.
Yeah, and then the thing about it was, it come to find out from people through the grapevine that that specific person was known to not keep it 100 about stuff and don't own up to their mistakes. So that's the only little issue I've had with the Capricorn that I dealt with. But other than that, like I said, most of the Capricorns that I've dealt with. Oh, another little thing with them too. They can be they switch up and sometimes can act funny acting. Not all of them, but certain ones. Like they act different when different people are around. I'll say that certain ones. But now the next. No. You speak your piece about Capricorns. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt.
It's cool. It's cool. I like Caps. I do. I like the December ones and January ones. Is just that I'm a little bit more cautious with the December ones and the January ones. Point being that I had an encounter with a Capricorn that we were supposed to be a thing, but I understand like a lot of people don't want to rush things, and that's completely understandable. But if I'm with you and I'm gonna bring up certain subjects,
Right.
like I'm gonna bring up certain subjects, and with that, like we grown, like we grown, we not kids, we not teenagers, we grown ass people.
Okay.
So if I bring up something like sex or kids or something, don't look at me sideways, and especially if we supposed to be a couple.
Hmm.
Now the January ones are a little more shiesty than the December ones because the December ones laid back. They really are. So, from my experience, the December ones are more laid back than the January ones.
Hmm, interesting. I mean, I can see that point of view. I can see that.
I mean, that was my only encounter with one that, she was like, I don't think I should be talking about this with you. Girl, we are grown ass people, came out of our mama wombs a year ago. Why the hell are you acting like this?
She that type of girl that'd be like, don't put your paws on my silky drawers.
Bullshit.
I mean, she probably that type. But was that all you had to say about the Capricorn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one is
Aquarius.
Aquarius, and this is just what it is about Aquarius.
Shout out to my mama.
Oh yeah. What I will say, I don't have any. Aquarius is a really good people. They are the type of people that they mean what they say and say what they mean, and it ain't no in between. There's no. What I said is what it is, and I'm not changing it. I'm not going around it, and I stand by what I say no matter what. Um, they mostly for the good part. Like I said, they're real good people. They really are good people.
But
And they like to have a good time. No, ain't no bust to it. They like to have a good time. I don't have anything
That's
negative.
the first time you didn't have a butt.
I don't have no butt with Aquarius because I've never really had any issues with them, except for one Aquarius that I had a issue with, and she's just too much. It's like she's one of those over the top ones. Like her mouth is reckless to the point where she don't see nothing wrong with the stuff that she says, and she likes to backpedal and pussy pop. Like she doesn't take ownership of the shit that she says. And, like I had an issue with something she said, and she gonna say, "Well, you say this." Like my whole thing is, we're not talking about me. We're talking about you. And she likes to deflect, and it was just stuff I just can't get with. I can't. And then she's the type where she likes to play victim, where it's always the other person's fault. It's never hers, or it's always an excuse. So it's like I just don't. I can't. She was the only Aquarius that I really just I ever had an issue with. But other than that, no.
I like Aquarius people. The only problem I have is that they complain about a whole bunch of shit.
Mm.
They complain about everything. They like it like they like and from my experience, from my experience, they complain about everything under the sun, and they do make great friends, but relationship wise, it will not work. I'm sorry. We like it's like dating your same son, butting heads at any given time.
Oh Lord.
And they not the worst people in the world. They not, but at the same time, they like at the same time, we have our flaws as do they.
Every sign does.
And that's how I feel when it comes to certain flaws being like certain flaws being here and there. But that like I'm just speaking from my experience. So I mean, somebody might have a different view or a different outlook on it.
Well, I definitely understand that point. That's why I say you getting the different dynamics from the both of us. Now, the next sign is Pisces.
Shout out Dre.
Oh, child, this is a. Let's talk about Pisces. This is what's so crazy. I know two people that's a Pisces that's born the same day, and they are the total opposite of each other. Um, the one thing about Pisces, like I said, I never really. Yeah, This is based off of the one.
Should have been born in February.
This is no, not just that. I'm just gonna base it off of the ones that I know. like I said, speaking. Because Pisces is a dynamic, because I know people who are Pisces, but all of them have different personality traits. Um, some Pisces, I've noticed, some of the women, it could be the men too, but some of the women Pisces that I know are very selfish. They like to play victims. It's all about them. They can have very nasty attitudes, and it's like their way or the highway. Um, they're very like, some of them are the type, they don't call you to see how you doing, happy birthday, or you alive or anything. But when they need something, they'll break your phone down. And I just and it can be fun. It can be very sometimey, and I just don't have the patience for that. I can't. I do not.
What I got to say about Pisces is they're great people. Um, Dre, he's a Pisces. Been friends with him for more than
But
20
he
years.
is the total opposite. Not to cut you off. He is the when I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. He a good person. Period. But he's one of the best Pisces I've ever met. Like in life. Period. Because he's so different from other Pisces that I have known. So that's why, like I say, it'd be so hard for me.
Seriously.
That's the same thing I said. But yeah, but he's definitely good people. But what were you saying about Pisces?
Pisces, they really good people, and I like them, and they a water sign like me,
Mm-hmm.
but they great sex partners too. They're great in bed.
Oh, okay.
Like I've like yeah, I've had sex with the Pisces before, and all I'm gonna say is she knew what the fuck she was doing.
Hey, I ain't mad about that.
It is what it is.
I ain't mad about that at all.
February Pisces and March Pisces, they are different, but when it comes to like friendships and things like that, they loyal and they loyal. They really loyal people as well.
I'll definitely get you on that aspect. The next one that we have, what's that for Pisces?
Taurus.
Oh, Aries.
Oh, Aries.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I totally forgot about Aries.
well, Aries. Let's talk about them because we definitely have to get into Aries.
Oh yeah, you goddamn right.
I know a mother and a daughter that are an Aries, and they are the complete opposite of each other.
Was one born in March and one born in April?
That's correct. The daughter was March, the mother is April. One thing I'll give Aries is that you are either really fucking smart and intelligent, or you are really just stupid.
Smart like Batman smart.
Yes, you can get your way out of.
Nothing
You can be trapped in a corner and get your way out and find your way out. But the thing that I don't like about some, I'm gonna say this about Aries. The thing that I don't like about some Aries is that I know a woman who, she's the type of person that when she's with somebody, she with all them. She forget about her children don't matter. It's about her man.
Oh,
and
no.
It's the type of person where though it's just like
no.
She'll disregard her child and all of those stuff like that. And then she's the type where if she don't like something that you do or your life or whatever like that, it's like it's her way or it's no way at all. And it's not. And but what's so crazy is her mother is the complete opposite and is a sweetheart and will ride the bat for you, especially if she knows your character and your type of person. But it's just with Aries, and then sometimes with some Aries, I notice, and I'm gonna just be honest, I ain't trying to come in nobody church, folks, but I notice that some Aries that are in the church are very phony and hypocritical.
Man,
and like to preach the word. No, that's true. No, that is true. But I've noticed some people who are Aries in the church are very hypocritical and are very phony and lies. They like to portray it one way and want you to think that they're perfect, and all the while their life ain't shit. But I'm just being honest. That's just how the Aries that I've
They
dealt
could
with.
come in smiling in church and going home and being beat by their husband.
Not even just that, cheated on or don't even treat, they don't have relationships with their children. But.
Now, see what I got to say about Aries. I was with one, and that was one of the worst relationships ever.
Oh.
And the reason I say this is because I don't have kids yet, and I want kids. But this particular person had a kid, and at some point in time in their relationship, she was talking about having a kid. But how the fuck you want a kid and you can't even control the one that you have already? Don't sit here and talk about I want to have kids and everything. And half of the time it wasn't even about. Half of the time it wasn't even about her kid.
It was just probably about her.
Yeah, it was about her, what she wanted, and all this
Was
other
she
shit.
younger
What
than
she
you?
got. Yeah.
Okay.
She was like, like if she ain't getting her way or something, or she would act immature, and like at some point her son wasn't even mad at her, like.
But see,
but see that's not all.
that's
That's only some of it. The rest of it,
you probably got a whole laundry
the
list
rest
of
of it
shit.
is no, not really. The rest of it being she's a cusp, so she had traits of both the Pisces and Aries, and we all know water and fire don't mix.
Ooh, that's
so yeah, we all know
that's
water
an
and fire
ugly
don't mix.
that's an ugly combination.
A very
That's an ugly
combination.
combination. When you got the cusp of both,
I tell
it,
you,
it can be a beautiful thing,
I'm
and then it
friends
can
with
be
Aries,
ugly.
but I'm friends with Aries, but I will never, and I do mean I will never date another Aries. They have to change my mind, something crazy to do so. I'm just being honest about the whole thing.
That's
If you,
true. I
like,
mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. So I definitely would never take that away from you. Child, that's how I feel about this.
I date a Leo before I date a Pisces.
Wait a minute. That's how.
I mean, Aries. I
That's
date a Leo
how I
before I
feel
date
about this.
Aries.
Now, what you just said is how I feel about this next sign.
Which is Taurus.
This is Taurus, and I'm gonna break it down to you because there's a difference between the April Tauruses and the May Taurus. There's a difference between the two. The April ones I love to death. Like I rise with them. They're really good and sweet people. It's just that sometimes with the April Tauruses, some of them will stay in a situation no matter how bad it gets.
And we know one well.
There's sometimes certain ones that will. It seems like, let's say if you've known them for years and the shit that they were doing in their late teens and their 20s, they're still doing now in like their 30s and 40s. Like there's no progression. So it's like they're good people, but it's like at the same time, it's bullshit along with it where you just be like, they will keep going. They will go through the same situation over and over and over again and expect a different result. But it's just like, but you should see the pattern as it forms. Um, but I'm not gonna take away they're good people. Now, May Tauruses, let me be clear. Like I said, not all of them, but I tend to not really get along with May Tauruses too well.
Why is that?
Because of their mouth. They can have, now granted, my mouth can be what it is at times, but their mouth can be, some of their mouths can be very reckless. And what I mean by very reckless, they can say or do what they want to you.
Don't I know it?
And you can't say nothing back. You can't do nothing back. If you do anything back, they won't hold the law on you. And then sometimes in certain instances, let's say y'all have a big argument or something, and they're the type of people that say, well, this is what I said, and you don't have an opinion, it don't matter. And then 10 minutes later try to act like nothing never happened. And I'm just like, no, that's not what it was. But, and the case in point,
And see, I get along with both April and May, but I get along with both April and May. And although I never was, I can't really say I wasn't. But then again, I can because I never really had a solid relationship with a Taurus, but they're also great in bed and they're good people and truthful people. Not all of them, but most of them do keep it a book. I mean, the April ones, they like the April ones and the May ones. They are total opposites.
That's what I said.
I'm gonna just put that out there. They are total opposites. They don't act nothing alike.
At all. And
At all.
and you know what's so crazy? Not to cut you off. I know a April and a May Taurus, they can't stand each other.
If you talking about the same, if you talking about the two, I think you are, then I can testify to that.
Well, I know one in particular. I know one that doesn't like another one. For rightfully so, I can understand because I had issues with that same May Taurus too. But they can't stand each other. And for rightfully, I can understand why.
Hold
But
on,
yeah,
both tie. One light skin, one caramel.
no, I'm talking.
Okay.
But I can see why certain aspects though.
I
But
mean, the Taurus sign, I really do like them because like they make good friends and they can also be good relationship partners.
that could be true.
They like their loyalty, not a loyalty. When it April and May, the loyalty isn't the same because
Oh,
like
do I know?
this is just me speaking from experience.
Okay.
There's there's two in April and three in May. Two of those May ones, one I chased for 15 years.
Shit.
The other one bad mouthed one of my homeboys behind his back.
Oh.
Now
Mm.
they can also be secretive people.
Mm.
They don't like.
Mm.
I understand the fact that they don't tell everything, when they first meet you because I mean y'all strangers, but like it, man, it's so hard to build trust
You
with
ain't
them.
never lied about that secretive shit. That's another thing. Some of the
It's
April,
so hard to build trust
April
with them.
and May ones. That's the trait that they share together. They're both stubborn and they both
They
can be
stubborn as
very
fuck.
secretive.
They
both.
stubborn as fuck.
That is very true.
I like I like I like both sides. I like April and May, but they make it hard for people that don't really deserve it. Like I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm not. It's just few,
I get
but
you.
they can be loving people too.
I get you on that aspect. Yes, that's definitely a sign that we both speak on very well together. The next sign, which is my sign, which is a Gemini.
Yeah, the twin sign.
Let me tell you something, and I can speak on this as a Gemini. There's a difference between the May ones and there's a difference between the June ones. What I will say about the May ones, because I dated one.
Shout out to my boy Sherm. Shout out to my boy Bear right here. Shout out to my other Jess. What's up, girl?
I will say when it comes down to the May ones, like I said, they're cool people, but they're very secretive. They're sneaky. They don't like to be alone. They crave attention.
Them May ones, though.
I'm speaking on May ones. They crave attention. Some of them, they are the type. They don't. This is what's so strange. I know one for beat that big bitch, but I know some of them for
Oh, he
who
me.
I know some of them who have I'm gonna say what they consider cheating. Like I know one in particular that likes to have virtual sex with people.
They get mad if you hug your own mama.
No, listen. They like to have virtual sex with other people as far as like how people
16?
like on the like how like you on a social site like and y'all see each other naked and stuff like that.
Oh.
They don't consider that cheating. And They talking
I
about well,
mean,
it's not
it's
the physical.
not
They like, but it's
because
not the
they not.
physical thing.
I
And
mean, it's not because it's
no,
not physically touching, and I
no,
mean, look, I've seen people naked and
no,
everything, you know.
and then
Some look, listen to me. Some might find it disrespectful
mm,
if you looking like if you looking at another person naked. But
mm.
if that's the case, then looking at porn should be cheating.
Okay, no, but this is what I'm
Like
saying.
I mean, you looking at two strangers
No,
fucking each
but
other.
this is what I'm
So
saying. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't care what you did before we got together. What I don't get down with is you on social whatever sites and you're naked, even if your face is not involved in it, but if your body is naked and you're doing this with other people and you're in a relationship with me, this is the thing. Okay, let's take the face out of the equation. Your face don't ever have to be shown. If a person knows your body and has seen your body naked multiple times, especially if you have clockable tattoos, it's nothing for a person to say if y'all out in the street and you did this with people and you know what they look like. Oh, hey, we had good for the other night or something like that. To me, I just think that that's disrespectful. That's just me personally speaking. Because my whole thing is, if we're together, I'm not saying okay, people gonna say fantasize, look what they want, but when you're purposely getting naked for other people and we're in a
oh,
relationship,
now if it's on purpose, yeah, that's
that no,
disrespectful.
what I mean, no, it's a situation where he feels as though it's not considered cheating because he likes to do these things with other people, and it
Is
works.
he in a relationship?
Yes.
Then he shouldn't be doing nothing with nobody else.
Okay, but that's the point of what I'm trying to say. Okay, him and the person that he's with, I guess it's okay. They agree upon whatever situation, and that's fine.
What
And
the
but
fuck is
he
this? An
look.
open relationship with some
No,
kind
it
of
ain't
polygamy or
no,
some
it ain't
shit?
no open relationship. He just likes to do things with other people virtually. And my whole thing is like I told him, I don't know. I mean,
Shit, he might as well practice polygamy if
that's
that's
the
gonna
same
be
thing
the
I
thing.
said. That's the
Like
same thing
you,
I said. But I just don't purpose. I don't get it, and I don't want to get it. That's just not for me to get. I don't understand it.
yeah, he should just
But
practice shit for
I
real.
just can't.
If that's how he
I
like, if
ain't.
that's the
I
way he
ain't. I
roll, I
ain't with it.
mean,
I ain't with it, child. But it's just more of a situation where it's just like, for me personally speaking, I just don't. If I'm with somebody and it's a monogamy thing, ain't nobody seeing me naked. Hell, only less than 5 people have ever seen me naked, versus whether it was in the physical form or a picture. Cause I
but
never was one to send nude pictures.
but
Like I don't.
see, but see, some people look at it as, and we still on the Gemini, but the thing I'm explaining is
Okay.
some people feel as though it shouldn't be a thing because it's human nature if you're comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
But when there's different factors to factor in, that's when it's a game changer. Because
Exactly.
like, okay, if I'm in a relationship, I'm not gonna want to see another girl naked unless I'm looking at porn.
Now this is the thing. Unless y'all got the relationship where it's agreed upon and stuff like that, because every
I
relationship,
mean, I don't look at porn like that. No more,
everybody's
but
relationship is different. So I totally get and understand that. But he didn't understand why I thought it was considered cheating. Because I'm just like, yo, you know, that's just like,
what's
I
good,
can't
big
do
dog?
that. I can't do that. That's just all the way 100. I just can't do that. But that's just me personally speaking. You know, what doesn't work for me can work for another person. But I just don't. And then sometimes some of the main ones, I'm gonna keep it 100 with
Some of
y'all.
the yo, I
Another thing,
the
sorry,
main
gotta cut
ones
you
they
off.
is
Some
shiesty.
of the main Geminis are very cheap and can be users.
Really, is cheap the word to be using? I'm just asking, man. Like
My
you came
nigga,
up with it like
I'm talking about cheap.
cheap, like cheapskate cheap.
Yes, we talking about
Like niggas
cheap.
passing around using the same condom cheap.
Oh Lord, I ain't talking about that kind. But we
I
talking about.
mean, I'm just trying to understand.
I'm gonna say this. I went on a trip a while ago. You know
Alright.
what? I'm not even gonna do that. Let's just say I know somebody who, the same person who I was just talking about, that does this with other people. I have witnessed them be, how can I say this? I have witnessed them with their other half, and they can be very. I've seen the way that they talk to their other half, and their other half just takes it like it's nothing. Like it's okay to be talked to like that, and will force them to give them money and this, that, and the third just because they're working and they're not. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alright, my
You
thing.
forced this person to buy you something, knowing damn well they wasn't gonna have that much money left till they got paid again, all because you wanted something.
So
That's all I'm gonna say. But any other time you cheat.
okay, so my thing about Gemini's, sometimes I like, especially with the main ones, sometimes I don't know which one to kill first. I'm like, that's not to say it's a bad thing because it's not, but Gemini people, like, most of these signs are great in bed. Most I've had, I'm not, well, I can't say that because my body count is still under 10. So, look, I pick and choose who I want to do it with, and some people I just look at and just say no, just no. That's not gonna work. But what I will say is the Germans keep it more real, keep it more a buck than the May ones because the May ones will give you the runaround. I can't do this. I can't do that for whatever reason it may be, and like I just can't. They will. Whew, they
Another
will burn you.
another thing about the maid Tauruses, I will say, sometimes certain ones will they'll sometimes can talk to you like you a child and you stupid and like you just don't understand, and they can also try to
Be right back.
play this emotional type of game with you, like it may be your fault or you doing something wrong. They don't like to keep it 100 with you about shit unless it's you have to literally hold a gun to them for them to tell the truth about something. But like I said, that's when it comes to May Tauruses. They are good people, but I have one May Taurus that I'm really good friends with, like really, like he all the way 150% about shit. He's the only May Taurus that I know that is like that. Now, we have June Tauruses. I mean, I'm sorry. I just spoke about May Geminis, what I just spoke about. I'm sorry, I mean to confuse y'all, it was May Geminis. Now we're on to June Geminis. I'm a June Gemini, so I can speak on all this. I'm not going to sit up there and make it like it's rose-colored glasses type situation. I can procrastinate. I can, which is not something to be proud about, but something that I'm working on. It'll be with June Gemini's. It's like we're very complex. Gemini's, period, are very complex people. But one thing I can speak about for myself as a June Gemini, I don't like to argue. I don't like to go back and forth. I don't like when I'm done with a person. Oh, you good? When I'm done with a person, I'm done. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I'm not gonna cuss you out. I'm just gonna not deal with you. I'm just gonna cut you off and be ghost. Like all the way ghost.
Are we on the Cancer yet?
No, we on June Gemini.
Okay.
And sometimes with certain June Geminis that I know, they tell shit that makes absolutely no bit of sense. And you be sitting there looking like, why would you say that?
Well, it's something simple. They make
They will say something, yes, just because they don't want you to cuss them out. Like I had a former friend that I cut off 2 months ago that was a June Gemini. He was born 3 days or 2 days before me. The only thing about, like I said, I can understand to a certain extent why some people don't really like June Geminis, because I dealt with this situation with the one that I used to be friends with, and he did me real dirty. But like I said, all people of the sign are not the same. But I will say, sometimes June Geminis can be indecisive. Sometimes they can be very, like, we're good people, but sometimes we can be indecisive. Sometimes we can just be, like,
Like, what, fuck it?
We'll say fuck it to a situation, especially if it's really getting on our nerves or it's not working out for us. We'll just be like, okay, bye, fuck it. And then, like, when we done with you and for you doing us wrong, we'll cut you off, like, all the way to the point.
They'll cut you
We'll
off.
cut you off,
like,
and you won't even realize it till months later, and we done moved on to the next phase. But, now we're talking about cancers.
I'm gonna speak on cancer
Oh,
first because,
Lord.
man, their emotions like a hot butter that you dip with crabs. I'm gonna say, yeah, they are the next water sign by Pisces. They are the crab, but they are some of the most emotional motherfuckers on the planet.
I mean,
I dare somebody tell me different.
They can be.
Can be. They are. They was born like any cancer. I was born with emotion.
I'm gonna say this,
but the July ones are more down to earth than the June ones.
I agree with you on that. Now the June cancers, I will say, the June cancers are very. They cool people, but they're very sneaky. And they can be the type, they can be in a relationship with somebody and have hella side chicks and side boyfriends. And they just don't like, they like to have multiple people. They like to feel like their ego can be stroked and stretched.
I understand they got the biggest ego at all as well.
No, some of them do. They can be, but some of them are the type where though they try to. They are the. How can I say this? They love sometimes for the spotlight to be on them, and that's not always a good way, especially when you
attention thirsty.
I'm not gonna say all the way, kind of, sort of, but they're the type that they think that they're like the extra smooth operator until they get caught.
Oh, that's a good one.
Until they get caught. Like I knew someone who I ain't gonna say knew. I know someone who he had a nice girlfriend, but he was dating like 7, 8 girls at the same time.
Okay.
But one thing I will say, at least the side pieces, now I don't condone cheating, y'all. Let me just be clear. But if you gonna sit there and mess with somebody, at least let who you messing with look like something. The girls he messed with, they did look like something. So I'll give him on that aspect. But when he got caught, he ain't speak nothing about that shit. But
yeah, like the shit gonna catch up with you.
Yeah, but but they cool. Now the July ones are cool people, but they're the type of people they like to have their cake and cupcakes and ice cream and eat it too. Because they'll be the type, case in point, I got a friend of mine, he meets these really great females. And one particular one, I was really hoping it worked out with because of who she was as a person and like how she carried herself was basically, I was like, damn, that looked like a woman. Like if you saw them two together, you would be like, damn, they really look good together. And she was an actual sweetheart. But for whatever reason, she was. I mean, I know they had whatever the issues that they had, but he just couldn't commit himself to her. But I've noticed with some cancers, they're the type of people that'll get people that like. That they really could be with them, they could be down with them, but they always like to stray with other people. And it's always a situation where it's just like you don't commit, and I'm just like, this is the thing. I'm not forcing nobody to be committed, because there are some people who are not commitment type of people. It's just there are some people who are not, and I wish people would understand that.
I would say
everybody's not commitment type of people.
Okay, now I would say the July ones they are committed people, but the June ones are not. I like my longest relationship was with a Cancer, and that was 5.5 years. But during those 5.5 years, like they wouldn't tell the whole story. They would leave out key parts about things, and lie, tell you about shit. And like even when they know you lying and you know they lying, they'll
Mhm.
still look in your face and tell you a lie like I don't know it's a lie. Like I don't know it's a lie.
Well, I never really experienced that with a cancer, no matter if it was a June or July, because they always kept it 1,000 with me because they knew.
Maybe it's just the ones
Because you know I'm the type of person.
it's
If I
some
know
I
you
come
long
across.
enough, I know when you lying. I know when you holding something back. But they always kept it 1,000 with me, and But it was more of a situation where they'd be like, Brandon, I know it's gonna blow up my face, and I know you're gonna tell me it's gonna blow up my face. And I said, well, if you already know, I'm gonna tell you. There ain't no
Then
need
why
for
are
me
we
to
having
say
this
nothing.
conversation?
But
Like
but one thing I can say about cancers, they've always been down as people to me and for me. So I always
it's
give
mostly
them.
the July ones who've been down.
So I gotta give them props where props is due. Now I had one of those situations with a June when this was years ago, where he low key tried to slick shade me on some shit,
When
and
he threw shade.
yeah, he did. He tried to slow shade me on some shit, and
What happened?
I cut that ass off. But my whole thing is it goes to that whole social media thing. Don't try to slick what you call me on social media and then think I'm not gonna clap back on your ass. Cause I'll send,
That's the thing.
see, cause I'll
People
send you,
believe
cause I'll
social
send you back
media,
with shipping and handling. I ain't got no problem with that.
and that's the thing about social media. People believe anything they see on there.
And it's more of a situation where it's just like they tried to use something against me, but the thing is, you knew the situation at the time, and for you to try to flip the script and make it like it was something else, that's when I had an issue, and I just stopped dealing with that person altogether. But it was just more of a situation where it's just like, how can I say this? It's just more of a situation where it's just like, I just, I don't like people who do that. But
It's like it's a thing of it's just a thing of having your shit straight because like I know a lot of cancers. I do. June and July. I mean, I'm related to a couple of these cancers, but that's not my point. My point is this: like, if you going, like if you going to do something about that, or like about something, or some other shit like that. Social media, don't believe anything you see on there because what baffles me about that is if you take like, okay, you could be single.
hmm
You a boy like me and you take a picture beside a girl. She can be a real good friend. Y'all never did nothing.
and I think it's more than
They'll
one.
hype it up. Yeah, they'll hype it up. It's like, oh, you fucking them now, or oh, y'all together. Like, yo, it it could be like, okay, I could see if they were holding hands or if they was like, hugging, like cuddling,
Right.
or some shit like that. But they are just standing beside each other. Like that's not cheating. Like if that's cheating, then everybody I took a picture with, I done true,
Mm. So
and that's not true. So I mean that's my whole thing on it.
the next sign that we have is Leo. What I can
I
say,
like Leos.
what I got to say about Leos in a nutshell is this. I'm just gonna be honest. I never had dealt with what you call the Leos that I dealt with. Let's just say it was never a good situation. The ones that I dealt with always came off very condescending. They try to tell you how to live your life and do this and do that, but the moment that you tell them about their self and their wrongdoing,
They
it's
ready to set it the fuck out.
not even just that, but they like that you can't give them no critique. They can only give you critique.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Some Leos like to live double lifestyles. As far as like they're one way in public and in church, but some of them will do anything to have a man or woman in their life. They're willing to go through any circumstance, whether it be a side piece or what. And some of them are just very.
So do they have that trait with the Taurus where they stay in shitty situations, or they
They
just
could.
can't be,
It
or they
just
just
depends.
can't be alone?
They could. It depends on the situation. But most Leos, I just don't. Some Leos I can't get with because it's their. I can't get with that. you try to wag your finger and tell me how to live my life and run things and do this. I can't do it.
I just don't like a person like that, period. Because if you got because if every time we talk and a subject like that come up and you telling me what to do and everything, and I ain't come out of your coochie, then I ain't come out your balls and I ain't come out your coochie, then you really don't have no right to be telling me what the fuck to do.
And it's crazy because I only get along with one Leo, and him and I share the same name. That's the only Leo I have ever got along with.
Now I do have Leo friends on both July and August Leos,
Mm-hmm. Ain't no
and
difference to them with me though. They all the same.
to me it's a little bit of a difference because
Mm-hmm.
the August ones are like they a little bit more hype than the July ones because the July ones kind of laid back. I mean there's 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 three on top right now that I can say that we've been friends for years, and these people I like the July ones because they keep it a little bit more truthful. Like they the kind of friends who will give you good advice. They can be they can be good advice givers.
Right.
And the August ones I like them. I don't have no problem with them, but I really don't know a lot of August Leos.
Another thing about August Leos I forgot to mention.
Is
Some of them hoes don't like to pay you back your money. If they owe you
wow.
money in some type of capacity, they will not pay you back. You can just forget about that shit. You can forget about all that. You ain't gonna get it back. Whether it's in food stamps or regular cash, you ain't getting it back. That's just being real.
This is like regular. Wow.
So
Okay.
the next sign is a Virgo.
Now I know Virgo is one not one. Woo child.
Ooh, child.
You want to speak on that first or shut up?
Well, one thing I will say about Virgos, um, I notice this is just me personally speaking. Um, I tend to get along with the female Virgos more than the male Virgos. Um, some of the male Virgos, and I'm gonna speak about the August ones. Some of the August Virgos are very, not all of them.
Shady.
Some of them are very shady. They are very, how can I say this? Some of the male Virgos are very Donald Trump-ish, and I'm going to explain to you.
And she's right. They are Leos are selfish and conceited. They can
Yes.
not all of them, but some of them they can be the most conceited motherfuckers and some of the most selfish ass people you ever met.
Now, I'm explaining to you what I mean about some of the male
Virgos.
Virgos that give me Donald Trump-ish vibes. I'm explaining to you why I say that. Because they are the type
new one.
They are the type. Some of the male Virgos are the type that will tell you, "I'm not. It's nothing going on. It's not what you think it is. We're not colluding with this person." And then turn around and you hear about them and they fucking with a person. They will lie to you under the sun and say, "This is not what's going on. I don't deal with it. We not banging with each other. That's not what it was. Don't believe it." And then we'll turn around and it will be it's the total opposite of everything that they said. They can be very sneaky, very conniving. Some of them are the type of people that will run their mouth about a person behind their back and then smile in their face like, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" Some of them are very two-faced, very funny acting, and some of them have a complex where as though everything that they say is right and is law, and is and they have no. Some of them have no room for critique. And
Now, my problem with the Virgos is, and it is both sides. This is August and September. I like some of the Virgos. I really don't like Virgos because some of them think they hot shit. They think that shit don't
Yeah,
stink.
I agree with you on
Like,
that aspect. Yeah, some of them, yes.
they walk around like that shit don't stink. Like, they like everything kosher. And it's not.
That's true. Yeah, so I can see your point of view on that aspect. Yes. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I had a lot of men, and I'm not lying. I heard about 90% of men say they do not like Virgo women. I've heard that from so many men, and
Why
I'd be
don't
like,
they? I'm okay. Okay, you know what? I, I was about to ask a dumb ass question,
I've heard a
but
lot of men say that. I have.
I was about to ask a dumb ass question, but I will say that I can understand why, and I'm gonna explain it from my point of view, and maybe somebody can relate.
Hmm.
My point of view on Virgo women is I dealt with one before.
Uh-huh.
Now, the part you was talking about where you were saying that is like there's nothing going on, it's not what it looks like, and all that it is like that's how they try to catch you in a web that then that's how they try to catch you in a web of lies that's on their side and not yours because this experience I had was I told her time and time again, like I wasn't in a relationship, I wasn't messing with nobody. Yeah, I had female friends, but I like if like yeah, I have female friends, but if they're not in a relationship and I'm not in a relationship, it's okay to flirt. But at the same time, I wasn't really a big flirt. Like cause some of my flirtatious side had went down. And I kept telling time and time again, I'm not messing with nobody, I'm not with nobody, and she just would not she wouldn't believe me or nothing. So after a while, I was just saying fuck it. So then she come to me a couple months later and start talking and coming on to me or some shit. And then when I say something back to her, oh, I don't think my boyfriend would like that. Hold on, bitch. I don't give a fuck what your boyfriend like or what he doing because that conversation is not between you, me, and him. This conversation between you and me. Like, don't bring somebody into the conversation that I don't know because you can fire shots at me and
Mm.
use a lot more ammo for that on behalf of that person. Like and like then you stuck like okay, so like they can defend them, but but that's because they know them and you don't.
Mm. Interesting.
Like that's like I mean Virgo women they're not bad people. They just make shit more complicated than it have to be.
Well, so the next sign after that one is Libra. So, mm,
Libras, where you at?
Libras are
Chris, Tanya, Kay, what's up?
Libras are good people. The only, like I said, the thing with Libra is Libras was they're like April Tauruses. They will stay in a situation no matter how bad it gets. It could be the bottom of the barrel and they will stay in that situation. They are the type of people they don't like to be alone. They have to have somebody. So even if one relationship ends, you can best believe someone else is there and it'll be a relationship on the horizon. Also, not all, but some Libras are friend forgetters. What I mean by that is when they're in a relationship. Now, when you're in a relationship, period, like I said, it's not when you with your friends and stuff. You won't do things at the same time because you're in a relationship. But some of them are friend forgetters, like straight off the rip. Like you don't hear from them unless they going through a situation with their other half, and then this will resolve. You don't hear from them no more. You barely hear from them for your birthday, holidays, any of that. You only hear from them when they're going through something. That's what I mean, a friend forgetter. and some of them do not like to accept responsibility for their wrongdoing.
The
Or for
thing,
the shit that they chose to accept and then get mad and resentful when they realize that ain't nothing gonna change after 1100 years. No, I'm serious. No, what I mean by that is they'll be in a situation and then they'll realize when the situation is damn near at the worst, at its worst, that they can't change it. They try to be like, it's something that I can do to try to fix this. You can't. It's too far gone.
if it's beyond repair, you can
That's what
forget it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
Like,
if it's gone. You can't salvage it. If there's no edges there, then you can't salvage nothing. But it's just the simple fact being is that
I like Libras. I
I do
do.
too. It's just that they do stuff that's just so asinine where you just like, why do you put up with that dumb shit? Why do you put up with it? Why?
But the September ones are a little bit more benign than the October ones, and I
Okay.
bang with the October ones harder than I bang with the September ones because the September ones, like, okay, say if you try to get with one, they're like, say if you try to get with one,
Mm-hmm.
they say something like they are truthful people though. It's just something like, okay, I have a love for you, but I don't see you that way, and won't even really give you a chance. As to where the October ones, they are a little bit more lovable. They are a little
They
bit
are. The
more.
thing is, I'm not trashing them like they're terrible people, but that's just certain traits that they have from the ones that I've dealt with. Like when they are your friend and they ride with you and they there with you. That's just what it is. How you gonna ride? She did right there. But it's more of a situation where it's just like when they're your friend and they ride with you and they down for you, they're your friend. But when it's a situation where it's just like it's just they're the type of people when they get into a relationship you can barely hear. You won't hear from them unless they're going through something. I'm just gonna keep it real.
I mean, I never had a relationship with a Libra, and like on some real shit. I've been wanting to experience it for a while because like most of the Libras I know are good people, but most of the Libras I know are October Libras. Like
Yeah.
I only know one or two September Libras, but I don't really speak to them no more because now that new relationship is like fuck the world.
That's what I'm trying to explain
Like
to you.
it's
When
like
they
fuck the
get with
world.
somebody, that's the end. That's the end of y'all. That's the end of any type of communication. You can wait there bye bye until they get out or something's wrong in their relationship. That's the only time you hear from them. But um, after that is Scorpio. Is that after Libra?
Yeah, it is. And that's my sign.
So that I'm about to say that's on you. Scorpios, like I said, I never really had no issues with them. The only issues I had with two of them, and I'm gonna tell you something. I had when I tell you they had no choice but to stop the dumb shenanigans they was doing with me. They were the type that they would. You could have receipts of proof. You could have a Mueller report of truth, and they will still lie.
Yeah, they like.
They will
I will
still
say.
lie, and I'll be like, "You do
I
real."
will say about my sign is that some of us, both October and November, some of us will argue your ass up and the fuck down. Even when you have to, they argue the fucking up down because
Yeah.
we don't like to be wrong. And we don't like we really don't like to be wrong on certain occasions, but some of us are a little bit more mature. But I will say that October and November Scorpios, we are very different. Very different because
Hmm.
October Scorpios, they will argue you up and down. They think they hot shit. They think they the best thing walking this earth. They think they the best thing since on the bread. And that is not true.
Well, Well, the one thing about the October Scorpios, some of them can be sneaky. Like some of them,
Oh my god.
they're the type they can be cool people and they can love you and stuff like that, but they can be sneaky at the same time and manipulative. But some of them have their facts straight on a lot of shit. They know everybody's business, and you gotta be careful what you say and do around their ass.
Yeah, she is
But
right because we will stay like we not like the Taurus is to where we not like the Taurus is to where
But you know what's
some of
crazy?
them stay in a
One thing I
relationship they
say
don't want to
about
be
an
in.
October, what the fuck, October Scorpio, they'll have their memory on things are so good. Like they could tell you something from 1975, and they will tell you every
That's both
detail. They
sides.
will tell you. They will remember like it was yesterday, and will tell you everything. That's one thing. Cause
That's
I have
both
a great aunt that's
sides.
like that. She can tell and then she'd be the type of person. Don't you remember such and such? And I'd be like, no. And then she the type. She'll say their name twice to try to make you remember. I'm like, I don't remember that damn person. What? She's like, yes, you do. And then say
Yeah,
their name twice.
we will tell you shit that actually happened, but like we that's the thing I can say about both sides. Both sides, October and November, do we have great memories?
And even
Me, me, I can remember birthdays, blood types, names, last names, all that shit.
like my great aunt is the type of person. Let's say you may not remember something, but she can remember it, and she can be like, "Yeah, 'cause you used to hang with such and such child when you was younger, and y'all used to do this and do that," and you be like, "Oh, for real?" See, my great aunt memory is like that. She in her 70s, but her memory is sharp as
Sharp.
shit. She can tell you something from when she was 6 years old, the time, all that, what the weather was that day, all that shit. That's why, like I said, they're very good when it comes to history and memory and stuff. They don't forget nothing. Especially, let's say, like somewhere it used to be, it ain't the same place it was years ago. Yeah, this used to be such and such and such and such. They like that. Their memory is sharp. But
But but the thing with us is I don't give a fuck who say what. I'm November, they October. We are not the same.
um,
Second, she is right because some of us stay in relationships we don't want to be in because if we break up with them, we don't want to seem like we was the culprit. That's why we don't want to seem like that we ended the relationship we didn't because something happened or something just didn't go as planned, and just to be happy or just to keep that person happy, you're willing to do it, but I will say this: when we had enough, we had enough. It's not. It's no point of. It's not a thing of. Well, you did this and you no. When we had enough, we had enough. Is done. Is a river dirt sheet.
I got you on that aspect. It's more of a situation where it's just like you just like I said, it's November. Like I said, Scorpios. That's how like I said with them. Now the next sign after that is Sagittarius. Now with Sagittariuses,
Good
the
lord.
November and the December ones
Are
are all the way
different.
different. The
Different.
November ones are from the ones I'm speaking of, y'all. I'm not speaking to everybody, just the ones I know. The
Different.
November
Oh my god.
Sagittariuses that I know are users. They are mind controllers. They like to keep reminding you over what I do for you, what you don't, what ain't nobody else doing for you like I'm doing. If they doing something for you, it's for a reason and a purpose. It ain't just for the kindness of their heart. They know.
So they do shit expecting something in return.
Yep, use their looks. Try to use their looks to get what they want.
Oh, I could have told you that.
Um, they're very, they're connive, and when they're done with you, and you don't get the hint that they're done with you, they'll come up with
When
something.
they don't have any more use for you, they drop your
They
ass
no
like a hot tamale.
that. But if it's a situation where you're not reading between the lines and they're not dealing with you anymore, they will come up with some type of scam to get you out their life.
They like the December ones I can deal with.
No, let me tell you
The
something. My mother is a December one, and she's the total opposite of the November. But one thing about them, those December Sagittarius, baby, when they done with you,
they done.
they're like a June Gemini. They're done with you.
You,
They ain't going back and forth with you. They ain't cussing you out. they're like they're gonna tell you instead of saying bye 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 like in sync, you gonna feel it. You gonna know that they done with you. You gonna be done. You when you call them, you might as well be like, the call you're trying to make is disconnected. Please try your call again later, because they're not gonna deal with you. They done with you at that point.
See, the thing about now,
I'm telling you.
from my experience,
And also, December Sagittarius is a good with money. All the ones I know are always good with money.
Now I'm gonna say something about I'm gonna say something about the November ones and the December ones.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me. The November ones, they the type who will cut you off and then 6, 7 months later will call you and try to get with you back like ain't shit happening.
The November one?
Yeah, the November ones.
I knew
like,
somebody that was like
6 or 7 months later, they try to come back into your life or try to holler
I
at
knew
you
somebody
like
like
ain't
that.
shit happening before the reason y'all start talking the first time. I've been through that a couple of times with the November ones. The December ones, they are good friends. They are good people. They are good sex partners. They are good partners, relationship wise as well. What I can say is, with the December ones, they more realer than the November ones, in my opinion, because November Sagittarius give you the runaround. They touch every part on the subject they touch other part on the subject except the part that's really important, cutting to the meat, so to speak. And oh my God, they love to play victim. The November ones,
Mm-hmm.
they love to play victim. That it is like it's like a hobby they born with. It's like some kind of hobby that they born with. They really don't think that is they really don't think that anything's a problem as to where the December ones they just they keep it 100 with you from jump.
Right.
And I like, don't get me wrong, I like Sagittarius people, I do. But just like some of the Virgos, they think some of them think they hot shit, and their shit don't stink, and they can't be touched. Like in any sense of the word. And that is my thing about Sagittarius. They not bad people. They not. They just sometimes I'm gonna say sometimes they just bite off more than they can chew or get in over their heads sometimes.
Right. That's true. I agree with you 100% on that. Um, I like them. I mean, I'm very good. I mean, like I said, for the most part, December Sagittarius is I love them. But let us be clear. This is based off of our experiences, not the book of law. You know what I mean? It's just our experiences.
Because the book of law is probably rewritten a whole different way.
You know, your experiences may be different with the different signs versus us. So that's why I say it's all of our own personal experiences. Um,
The thing about some signs is most share certain traits, but those traits are on different levels.
right.
Now, I mean, like, um, the sense of loyalty, love, compassion, things that's abstract. So, with that being said, that'd be our thing as far as signs. And
Yeah.
if anyone who is watching this would ever have any questions or whatever, feel free to jump in my inbox or jump in their inbox, and we will gladly have one-on-one conversations with some of you people. Or, and some of our episodes will be strictly questions.
Yes. So if you have any questions for us, personal, we will leave you anonymous. We will not say your name. You can give us a nickname to say, and you can let us know what your dilemma may be. If you need some type of advice, anything like that, we will definitely do that for you. You can inbox either one of us. Also, to everyone, we will be on every streaming platform as far as like for podcast, Spotify, Apple, Anchor. We are coast to coast.
This, yeah, we are coast to coast
Coast
talk.
coast to coast talk. But if you just put in coast to coast,
We
will pop up.
And coast is spelled with a K.
Koast, the number two, and then Kost again. And then our picture will pop up. You'll see us. Basically, yeah. We will be on every streaming platform. You can download us, listen to us on your way to work or whatever, wherever you are, wherever you going.
Is Anchor free?
Yes, Anchor is free.
Anchor is free. Spotify is free. I have a Spotify myself, so like we gonna be on some of the major platforms that y'all like to visit.
It will be on Apple as well. So like I said, you can download us all. Just know we just started out with the streaming service, so that's just how it is. But we just want y'all to know that as time goes on, we will do this thing and it'll become more popular and better stuff like that. But we just want you all. We want to interact with y'all, we get a little bit personal with each other and stuff like that.
I mean, we not gonna get personal on that.
But you get what I'm saying.
One-on-one.
A one-on-one type of situation.
Right.
So, we want to help you out as much as we can, as far as like, as if you have any type of questions, dilemma. Talk about
ask us about experiences as such, and like ask us about certain experiences and such, because there are some key differences and some key components that we may not have spoken on during this talk about the signs, that you may want to ask. And so just feel free to hop in our inboxes and ask, and we will respond to you.
right.
We may not respond to you at that moment, but we will get back to you.
Right, and we definitely will. We'll bring it up on the next episode of our show.
It'll never be episode 21. See, we don't name our episodes because it's coast to coast episode whatever.
Exactly.
So I mean, and with this podcast is different because we the whole choosing a topic thing is tiring and is energy consuming.
Yeah.
So we speak on whatever comes to mind.
It works for us. So hopefully hopefully it works for y'all where y'all can get into it like how we do. Yeah, that's basically and we hope that you all will come back again, listen to us and our crazy selves. Because we crazy, but we lovable at the same time. But we also keep it
about
a whole 1,000, not 100. We passed 100. We keep it 1,000.
We keep it 500,000.
Right.
So like say like what they say, 500 grand.
Exactly.
So that's us. We not going like, and we don't judge. We don't judge. We just speak on how we feel.
Yes.
Now, if you feel as though it's judgmental, and if you don't really have, I'm gonna say people who ask us questions, please have some kind of tough skin, because we are raw people. We are not going to sugarcoat anything. So like, yeah, have some kind of tough skin.
Oh. Did you really just say that?
Yeah. It's not a bad thing, but like it's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, it'll help out much.
Right, right. I understand that. I understand that.
Hey, babe, could you open the door for Max?
Oh, Maxie, trying to get out? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, Maxie.
Oh, she got it?
No,
Just close the door.
she ain't trying to go nowhere. She just want to sit right there.
Okay, so that's basically our episode.
Yes.
Coast to Coast Talk with your boys, ABA to the Lunch.
Handsome Baller 88, and we will definitely see you again here. Talk to you next week.
Only on Coast to Coast
That's
Talk.
right. See y'all.